Sega. Before we could even get started recording, Sayan and Welch got into talking about Polymega and the issues that Sayan was having with it. In we go.
All I did was add an SD card, but
I'd-
I brought it.
I would say you probably got something wrong with it, dude. You probably gotta send it back to him.
I messaged them. I did whatever. It took them a month and a half to get back to me, and they were like, "Well, oh, you probably screwed something up with the SD card that you put in or whatever." And I'm like, "It's fat formatted. I used the recommended SD card that you guys told me about, and it's like, okay."
But did you go back through and any of those games that didn't work, did you try to delete the file that was on there and then redump it?
I wiped the system and I restarted the system all over again. Did the update, formatted the card, put the system back on, put everything on. And man, when I tell you Lords of Thunder was running like sheer garbage, I'm like, I don't. Alicia Dragoon, the opening for Alicia Dragoon was horrible. Like I would jump and it would be like, and I'm just, I don't know. I'm telling with all the modules that I had, he gave me $1,700 for the entire system with the modules, and I went out and I got a Mister, and I got the light gun coming for the Mister with the foot pedal, and I was playing on the Mister, and I used a ROM dump for the Mister, and the analog turbo is coming in a couple of days because I have a ridiculous amount of like turbo and PC Engine games. I was like, fuck it, I might as well just do that.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't had any issue like that on mine other than it doesn't read certain games right, and I've gotten kind of in some arguments with people about it.
I agree with you completely
Facebook
about that.
groups.
Sega.
Just a matter of I don't know. I wish they would just come up with a hardware revision. Honestly, it's about time. It's
I
been
think
up
they
long
should.
enough.
I really think they should.
I
And
think
I agree
they're
with
still
you
trying to
about
catch
not
up
reading.
just with the orders that they've got. And so it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, we're okay where we're at. We're still shipping stuff consistently. I mean, they may actually be working on a hardware revision, but until they can even catch up with the current sales and stuff, I think they're going to be hard put to find the time to release another hardware revision. And if they do another hardware revision, hopefully what they get back to is having that FPGA.
It's a very good system. It's a very good concept. And I enjoyed it a lot. It was nice because you have like all three of us have probably, I mean, out of everyone, I think the three of us have the largest collections of games. And it was great having everything at your fingertips. You play the game. The controller, I got to admit, the controllers were excellent when you plug them into the ports. So every time, like even the turbo controller was phenomenal. I think it's a great and excellent product. I just think the software wasn't properly tested, and I think the hardware standpoint with the modules is great. You put the one tedious thing is you pull the module out, you put it back in, you pull it out, you put it back in. I was having some issues with that, and I had to turn off the audio in the background, which is what they said to do, so that fixed that. But overall, not bad.
But
Not bad at
not
all.
great, not what you wanted. But was it just the
It was
Genesis games you were having issues with, or was it stuff on all of
Genesis Turbo and oh damn, that one FMV that I was gonna tell Welsh about. It's the Ant FMV on Turbo. That just would not load. I tried it 7 times. I tried it on the
Oh,
PC
it came
Engine.
from the desert or something.
Yeah, came from the desert, and
Yeah.
the damn thing just would not. And I got the game, just damn thing would not. It just it hated that, and it hated Ray Earth. Every time I would load Ray Earth, it would say the hell with you, and it would just not. It would open up the first part, and it would boom. That would be it, and that's my favorite game of all time. And I'm like, God damn, plays fine on my Saturn,
Well,
but
it
just
should play fine on the original hardware.
when I tell you that it read the CD and said it couldn't play it, man, when I went, my face turned like as white as a marshmallow, that I thought something happened to the CD. I was like, oh no. And then I put it in Saturn. I'm like, okay, it works. I'm putting you back in the case. You're going on the shelf. Bye. I'm done with you.
Never playing you again.
Yeah,
I
like
promise
some
I'll
stuff
never
like
do
that.
that to you again. You don't
Uh,
have to go back in that mean machine. Never again.
it hated Resident Evil for Saturn too. It was like, I'm not playing you. It's a good it's good. It's if they do a hardware revision, it would be the best. I think
Well,
it
the
would.
thing is, they're using emulation, and so they're going to be upgrading the emulators, I imagine. And over time, they're going to get better and better compatibility.
I agree.
And that's not any different than any other system, because even the Switch 2 that comes out, next week, which is crazy, there's going to be a lot of compatibility issues with games to start with, and those will get worked out over time for some of them. Some of those, like, well, because the hardware is so different, and they're not going to have the same accessories. Games like what is it, Ring Fit, probably aren't going to work, and some of the other ones that needed the infrared. But that's just
Well, they said
a thing that
they
happens.
so the two things about the Switch which are crazy. One, people are getting their Switch 2s canceled. Pre-orders are just from Walmart and Target are getting dropped. They're
Is
like,
there
you
a
can't.
reason for that, or
Lack of inventory. Just lack of inventory completely. I got an email today from Best Buy, and they asked me, "Hey, listen, do you want money back on Donkey Kong and Kirby because they're not coming out with the Switch release, because they were originally a Switch release game. They're supposed to come out the 5th because I bought the bundle, and they asked me if I wanted a refund, and I said no, just
get them
whatever.
to
I'll
me
just wait,
when they drop?
because it was I guess they were originally supposed to be on the Switch,
I thought they
but
were
people's
day one launch, or is it a issue with?
I got hit.
Um, so are they not going to have those at launch?
They're not having them at launch. No, I'm
How did
gonna
I
have
miss
to
that
wait.
news? And Walter, are you even?
Unless
Did you order a Switch 2? Do you even care about getting a Switch 2?
Honestly, I'm not even paying attention to it. I mean, the only one I'm would buy it for is Metroid, and I'd probably just buy a regular Switch version.
That's what I
better off
plan
with
on
that.
doing. Like. I don't think that the console is a bad price for what it is, but I don't want to pay the premium for a handheld device that I'm not going to use as a handheld.
Yeah,
was,
I feel like it's a waste of Nintendo's efforts. Like, it's not a great enough leap for it to be
Yeah, I mean,
worthy, in my opinion,
love-
of like a successor to the Switch. I mean, I feel like it's just
Sega.
they just want to make a quick buck, and that'll help them.
Well, I mean,
That's
but
true.
that's what they did. They went from, the Wii to the Wii U, and the Wii was actually just an upgraded GameCube. But then they just upgraded the Wii to get the Wii U, and then the Switch, they did something different, and now they're just going to, you get a bigger and beefier Switch is all, well, plus, some hardware changes that make backwards compatibility an issue. But, it's, I don't know.
It's my opinion. I mean, a lot of people are excited about it, more than likely, obviously, but I just wasn't really my thing even on the Switch. So, I mean,
Yeah.
the system, it's just not, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the handheld stuff, and docking and taking it on the go. I mean, that don't really matter. Like, I bought a Portal, And I think I booted it up maybe twice, and I haven't even touched it since. Like, it was just a waste of money.
Yeah, I'm not big on handheld either.
I got the Asus, the ROG, and I thought I was going to be using it a lot. Nope.
Yeah,
I don't.
I've wondered about picking up one of the handhelds because I mean they're probably beefier than my PC is, and it's like, oh well, I could just use that as a, put the game on that, play off of that, and stream off of that, so that, or hook it up to the computer so that basically like a second computer, and stream off the PC, but then play the game on the handheld. But I'm not that worried about it. I mean, I've got to get a new PC around October, just because that's when it's not going to be supported anymore. So what else can I do?
Oh, you're right. I mean,
I mean, I really just I
getting
don't
a
have an
new
option.
getting a new PC is insane. It's a lot.
It is, but like I'm always tend towards the cheaper end of the PCs and stuff. So I'm never worried about getting the latest and greatest or anything like that, because I mean between the two, it's like, okay, since I'm streaming, if I can play the game on my console, I'd rather play it on the console, because the PC is not trying to play the game and stream the game at the same time.
1 second.
Are you recording, OWAS?
I am.
Okay, I was just checking. Yeah,
I
I don't
started.
know, man. Just not too worried about the Switch 2. I mean, maybe if I see something interesting they come out with, like maybe like that live action Zelda style that they showed off many years ago, like around the GameCube era, I'd be kind of excited about something like that. But I'm just kind of over these high powered consoles that don't produce the graphics that they're supposed to be capable of using or create or producing. And I feel like it's a waste of uh potential with Nintendo to just go from what 1080 120 from what was it 1080 60? Is that what they were getting on the Switch?
I think so, and I mean that is in docked mode. I think now you can get 1080 in handheld. But the thing is, you've got a screen this big. It'll be bigger than your phone, but like I don't really see that being all that great of a benefit. I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
want
don't
a
either.
Switch heavy, just a pure console that no screen, no battery, you plug it in. No, none of this hybrid stuff. Just something that you can plug in and play and go with it. You don't have to worry about the dock and the dongles and all this stuff. And the thing is, like, I think that would be a great holiday seller. Put that out at 100 or 150 bucks for the original Switch. In a year or two, release that for the Switch 2 and make it $100 or $200 cheaper. I think it'd sell pretty good.
Probably see prices drop on it fast if it doesn't have good sales.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know. I mean, Nintendo's just showed their constant constant greed. I mean, they've become really like I feel like they're just about the money, and I know a lot of them are these days, but I don't know. I mean, it just seems like a lot of these companies have lost passion for their artistic standout of whatever the console is capable of, or whatever games that are their flagship games. It's
Yeah.
just like they don't care to show that off anymore. It's just about what the hardware can do without anything developed for it and possibility. It's not even like, oh, we're gonna make games that utilize this. It's
Yep.
just like this is the possibility. That's at least with Sony. Like I bought a Pro, and I feel like that was a waste of money, man, almost, because I'm not seeing anything really huge yet that is making me want to say that I think it was a good upscale from the regular PS5.
You're not the first person I've heard that said that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, this
It just feels like
generation,
there was just a little
little bump.
gimmick,
Yeah,
a gimmick that has not being utilized.
like
Yep.
this generation, last generation, like there hasn't been anything that's been like, dude, this is totally making awesome use of what these systems can do. Like they're so bent on trying to be like, oh hey, look, we've got it's even bigger and beefier and all this stuff, instead of being like, hey, let's get it so we can actually like optimize our game so it'll run really well on this hardware, where we can condense the file size, loading times are reduced, do all that stuff. But they don't even allow themselves a chance to do that because they're so worried about trying to sit there and push it and push it and push it. We got to keep making a bigger and beefier one, and it just you're not getting the innovation and the fun out of the games like we used to. It could just be that we're all grumpy old men, but like there's nothing that really there's very little that excites me with the gaming coming out. But I mean, like for the Switch 2, the Donkey Kong Bonanza, I thought looked really fun. It looked really nice. I didn't actually like how Donkey Kong looks, but other than that, I think the last few games I got excited for was Space Marine 2, Metroid Dread, and then I'm excited to see Prime 4 and play that. And that might actually be a day one purchase for me, Prime 4. But if it's $80, I'm not gonna be buying it day one. Just like I didn't buy the original Prime remaster because it was $40 for one game. And I was just like, I played it on the GameCube not that long ago. But I mean, they're all about making money.
And the thing I don't like is like they did Prime Remaster, okay, but they did Metroid Prime Return of Samus Remaster on 3DS, but they've yet to convert it to a reasonable console so more people could actually get their hands on it. I think that's a stupid move on their part.
Yeah, and they just did it with Luigi's Mansion 2 not too long ago. They ported that one from the 3DS over to the Switch.
Yeah, I don't follow Nintendo, so I don't know, but I mean, I feel like the Return of Samus, that looked like a really cool game, and I almost thought about picking up a 3DS to play it, but I was like, no, because that's just I'm never going to touch that thing. I've had a 3DS. I never utilized it much.
Yeah.
And I only used it maybe to play some of the Zelda games, and that was it.
Yeah. The thing is, like, sounds like Welch and I aren't handheld gamers. I don't want to sit around the house playing this little thing when I can go sit in front of a TV. Even though I've got a 17-inch right here, it's still bigger than any handheld. I'd much rather play on that than a little tiny screen.
The handheld thing fascinated me when I was younger with like the Game Boy, the Game Gear, the Nomad. I thought that was a really cool thing. PSP.
Mm-hmm.
Vita is about when I kind of lost interest because they started doing a lot of that digital stuff, and then they offered the Vita TV, and I was excited about that, and then the games were incompatible, so that was about the time that it kind of became the end of my interest in handheld, because you could just see it was just half-baked ideas, and I get the Switch is a full-blown system, and some people like that because they don't want to sit in front of a TV, but I don't go and lounge at a McDonald's or get lounge downtown talking to friends and play a game while they talk. Like I'm well beyond that age, and cell phone gaming, never got into it. It's just it's just more of a extra piece of hardware that's expensive you got to carry around with you, so if you damage it you got to fix it.
Yeah.
But I'm also a believer in longevity of taking care of your stuff. I guess I'm old fashioned in that aspect.
Yeah, and if it's gonna be portable, I mean, that's one thing. Just with phones, it's like our phones are super skinny, and then we buy these things to surround them so that they're protected, and then you put a fancy cover on the front so that it doesn't break. You do the same thing with like the Switch, but then it's like, just for the sake of portability, how about you just make it so it's sturdy? make it a little bit bigger so it can withstand being a little beat up and whatnot, and you don't have to buy these extra accessories. You don't have to keep shrinking everything so it's quite so small.
Yeah, I'm installing some Sega CD games right now. I've been uh, buying more and more Sega CD. I'm making that push to finish out my collection.
So you're installing that on the Polymega?
Yeah, I don't know if is that coming in clear.
No,
It's blurry on my
it's
side.
blurry.
fuzzy. Yeah, see, I don't have a Sega CD. I don't think I'm gonna bother with ever collecting for the Sega CD. If I ever care to play a bunch of stuff from the Sega CD, I'll just buy the EverDrive that plays Sega CD games.
It's a niche market, the Sega CD.
It is.
Yeah,
So-
I just that's like my Master System one. I'm just kind of like, you're close to the end, continue on, try to finish.
Yeah, and I'm at the point now where I'm like, all right, I'm seriously thinking about breaking up my set and just not. I mean, I've been thinking about it for a while, but it's just like a lot of these games are just going to sit on the shelf. Like I'd get
Your
rid of
Master System
the
stuff?
great sports games, but I mean, it's like who's going to want those? Outside of someone who's doing like a full collection or had it as a kid. But I'm trying to shrink my collection because I've got too much stuff, and it's not just the gaming stuff; it's the Lego stuff and the action figure stuff, maybe some of the Sonic stuff. It's just
Actually sold some of my extra consoles lately. I sold a Sega CD, Model 1, an extra Master System that was boxed, but the box was just beat to hell. So I was like, I'll just get rid of it. I don't really care about it. And what else? I think I sold one more system. Oh, a Genesis Model 2 that was boxed, but that box was beat to hell. I sold a 32X. So yeah, like I got rid of some duplicate stuff. All that other stuff I mentioned I already have boxed. And then I got my childhood systems that my dad gave me, in which those are just sitting in a box, and I don't have the power supplies for them. I think I bought some more power supplies for them. I don't know where they was. Dad gave them to me without the power supplies, so I don't know where they were. But I don't know, man. I mean, I'm kind of reaching the end of buying hardware. There's like one more Genesis I'd like to buy, a boxed one that I want.
The CDX.
I'd like to buy a box CDX. I actually have thought about buying one, but that's not like a priority.
That's expensive.
I want to get one of those Altered Beast Model 1s.
the original
Those are nice.
original release.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I've
Yeah, I
even
wanna get
seen
one
one
of
of
those.
those.
Oh, with the Altered Beast on it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like I've got my childhood one there. Oh, get out of the way, you. So there's it with Sonic on it, and you see those pretty frequently, but I haven't seen. Like I said, I don't think I've seen an Altered Beast one.
So I just installed Jaguar. I got a pretty nice copy of Jaguar Sega CD. And then here's my other Sega CD stuff I picked up lately or recently. I finally got an official copy of Terminator, so I don't have a burned copy of it installed.
Why do they have four copies or four images of Arnold on the cover?
I got this from Computer Booter, WWF Rage in the Cage.
Rage in the Cage.
Not that I'm a big WWF fan, but it was cool to get it from somebody I chat with.
You just want to go for a complete set.
Yeah, Batman and Robin.
That's a
Finally
cool
got that
game.
one, The Adventures of Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
We got some Genesis too. I got a copy of Skeleton Crew, cartridge only,
That's a good game.
dupe case, but I got a real good price on it. That's an expensive ass game.
What the heck is that game about? Like, I don't think I've even heard of that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Skeleton
That was like
Crew.
it's a good game.
It's kind of like has that isometric 3D view like Landstalker,
Okay.
but it's action oriented. It's not like swords and stuff like that. Kind of like what's another one that uses it? Light Crusader. It's like that angle of view, but it's a shooter type game with bosses and things like that. It's kind of like a grotesque, futuristic mashup of style. It's all right. It's done by Core, so I figured I'd get it. I got a good deal on the cartridge. I mean, that's the thing is like that's why I bought it. I got this Kids on Site, which is probably garbage, but it's an FMV that I didn't have.
On site. I never heard of that.
Oh, Kids on Site? Yeah, it's a Sega club. I got another FMV I didn't have. Who Shot Johnny Rock for Sega
That's a good one.
Do you know the
I
answer?
have it on
Who shot him?
CDI. I mean, CDI definitely does better on the FMV than Sega CD, but that's just because of the processor. Which is, it's when I really started thinking about this too, I started bugging out a little bit. I was like, on that FMV stuff again, I was kind of thinking, man, that's so crazy that they put all that money into Sega CD so it could do video and it could not handle video. It just couldn't handle it, you know?
That's true.
Here's what I'm installing right now. Shadow of the Beast 2.
Oh, I've heard of that one before. People go after that.
Another Genesis game that I didn't have. I like the EA stuff. I got Syndicate. In which I'm trying to find the copy of Syndicate for Mega Drive. They released it on Mega Drive CD in Europe, but there's not even a copy of it listed on eBay. It's expensive when you do find it. And then I got this one in which it's flat as a pancake, but I mean, at least I have it in the collection now. I got the regular Batman, so in the cardboard box, but it was flat as a pancake. This stuff. What's that?
No, I was wondering because you were breaking up there.
I thought I was having internet issues. Oh, I think, did we lose Welch? Oh. You still there, Sam?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, Welch froze.
All that damn Pokemon playing last night, and what happened? Game never saved.
What were you playing on?
Mister.
Weren't you manually saving in the game?
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't
Yep.
save?
Mm-mm.
So what are you supposed to do? So that it will save. You're gonna have to reach out to Slippy or Drake. Yeah, these.
Yeah, I'm not doing this again. The hell out of here.
Send him a message through Discord letting him know that we're not ignoring him or something. I mean,
I cannot believe this crap didn't save.
you know, it could have something to do with all the cheat codes you'd put in and whatnot.
I think so.
Oh, we lost him.
Yeah, he dropped. Probably having internet issues.
Maybe. Hopefully, there's not having any storms. We've had rain the last 2 or 3 days.
We're gonna probably have rain. Let's see. We're gonna
I
rain
didn't
tomorrow.
hardly even get out and move today. Yeah, I didn't hit 5,000 steps today.
No, tomorrow's gonna be sunny. I wonder where he is. Man, he really collects a lot. Those saved, those complete in box systems, he'll probably have a lot of. Because didn't he buy over that video game store?
Huh?
Didn't he buy over a video game
Oh,
store?
that was years ago.
He's probably still got most of the crap.
Probably still does, because oftentimes that's what happens when you are collecting. You buy a collection, you get a bunch of stuff you didn't have. Although, I got rid of all the NES stuff that I picked up when I bought somebody's collection, which included Mega Man 1 through 6.
No.
Yeah. That's how little I care about owning Mega Man. Because I owned him. Sold him off to someone I hadn't talked to him in a while. But I was like,
X, X2, and X3. And
oh,
Legends.
yeah, I don't have any of the
Legends.
Super Nintendo version. But
Legends 2 and Trombone.
I mean, X was fun. 2 and 3 were okay. But like, just Mega Man for me, Mega Man is overrated. It's an overrated game. It's a good game. They can be fun.
I don't like
they're
Mega
not
Man.
the end all be all game. And
I don't like.
Yeah, you don't see the reason why people get so excited over them.
I'm 100% with you with Mech Man. I don't get it at all.
Meh man me, or whatever some streamers do. Yeah, I don't. It just doesn't do it for me. Like I said, I think I've played through Mega Man 2 and maybe one other one. I did those on a walk me through. And those two. It's like, all right, what weapon do I need for this boss? Where do I need to go next? And because I'm more than happy to play the games if I've got the time, but it's just I don't set time aside specifically to play them. And since I'm trying to play stuff that I own, and not necessarily own digitally, mostly trying to focus on the physical stuff, Mega Man's not on the list. But then here I am playing, where is it? Over the Hedge. So I can get rid of it on the GameCube. So I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to get rid of Season. Pokemon Coliseum, I think, is going to be gone. I'm not going to play them. Or if I can play it really quickly, and then I can get out of the collection if I didn't really enjoy it. A lot of those movie tie-in games, they're not long. It might be too long, but some are only 4 or 5 hours.
It's like, what am I going to do with these 3 sealed Nintendo 3DSs that I have? The Pikachu one, there's another Pokemon one, and the Majora's Mask one. I have like 3 of them sealed, but he gave me an excellent price on them, so I was like, whatever, I'm not. And
it's all shelf eye candy. And welcome back, Welch.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know what that was about. Discord like totally crashed.
Oh, that is really interesting because it didn't like just crash; it stuttered.
Yeah, and then
it totally wouldn't even let me select any options. I had to close the program, and then tried to open it back up, wouldn't open back up, and said to check the server status. So I don't know. It was weird. We just had a storm blow through our area, though. I mean, so I don't know. It could be that.
Yeah, I both were like, I wonder if he has a storm going through. We've had a bunch of rain here.
Yeah, we just had a.
But what is that?
Windstorm.
When you're streaming and you're having tech issues, your stream is you verified your stream. Now we're verifying the podcast.
Yeah.
I was thinking, because I 4 games away from completing my full collection of Pokemon. I'm not going to collect the original Game Boy games. I'm going with like Advance and Up. So I'm like maybe 4 games away, and it's the DS versions, like White 2, Black 2, and then the one with Kyrim on it. Once I get those, it's really like what I'm at a stand. Like, what else do I collect? I think I ranged about 200 shmups. I have, I have like all these RPG games. It's only All I've been collecting is RPGs and shmups. That's it. Nothing else. It's been straight RPGs and shmups. Yeah, look at that. When I turn the mister off, it wipes the game.
I mean, I think there's no issue focusing on what you're collecting and collecting with a focus. I'd say that's even better because then you can actually just pick up the games that you really want, that you want in your collection, and hopefully games that you might actually play down the line.
Yeah, the rabbit hole I went down is that CD32. Uh, I think I'm kind of coming to an end with that just because it's extremely expensive for what the games are on the system, and uh, I got to order it all from Europe for the most part, and
Hmm.
I'm just not.
Oh, the Amiga.
Not that
Yeah,
interested in it.
yeah, yeah. I got a couple games that were sealed is what the seller told me, and I ended up opening them because it was like I want to play them. I don't care. There was no information on CD32 having any kind of value as sealed, and I kind of even asked if they could be graded with some graders, and they said they don't have any information to grade them at this time, and that means they'll probably never get to a point where they're going to actually grade them in my lifetime. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of a joke, the grading thing when it comes to like obscure overseas stuff. It's like it just doesn't count. But um anyways, I opened them and they almost seem like they were opened at one time. So I don't even know if they were officially sealed or not, but
They look like
they
they were
seem pretty
resealed.
new, but the
Reseal.
manual still kind of had a little bit of waviness in it, being from Europe, that Britain, that it probably
Humid.
got some sort of moisture.
Yeah.
So, but I got some cool games for it. I bought a expansion card for it. I'm still trying to figure out how to set it up. The video is my biggest problem with it because it wants to. It's an actual like NTSC from Canada, but when you buy the games that are from Europe, they force PAL, so it doesn't work with your TV. And yeah, it's a pain in the ass, really. It really
Sega.
is, because you want to play this game, but then half of it's clipped off, and you can bypass that 50 hertz video PAL if you use the expansion card, but you got to use RGB SCART. And then even at that, you still got to kind of trick it a little bit to get it to boot the whole image on the screen. And yeah, I have a hell of a time with setting it up to play it. And so I got it sitting down over here. I've had it recapped. I got an extra laser for it. It's just I've kind of lost interest after having to screw around with the video issues.
Yeah. Do you still have the video issues if you run it through your capture card?
I have not tried that yet because I was reading that I think my capture card might actually do 50 hertz PAL, but I mean, it's not a matter of the hertz, because I mean, 50 hertz NTSC, you can force your capture cards to do, uh, you know, on NTSC. It's just that PAL signal.
Yeah.
And if you
Well,
do force it on NTSC, it turns it grayscale, and then it kind of has like a bunch of jitter going on.
that's why I'm asking, because I've got some Brazilian master systems, and like if you put them on a regular TV, they come out looking great. But
Yep.
running through my capture card, they play fine. Like
Okay.
there'll time when you turn it on and it's like gray, and then it's like then it wakes up and you get full color, and they play fine.
I'll have to try that. I haven't done that yet. I've used my RetroTink, and I thought maybe the RetroTink would
Oh yeah, the retro tank.
re-signal it, but it doesn't. At
Even
least
through
not
the
that I figured
SCART,
out.
even through the
Well, with the
SCART, it will.
SCART, yeah, through the SCART it will.
Okay.
Through the SCART it will, but you still got to trick it. You still have to trick it a little bit, and like I think it has more or less to do with the Amiga 32 trying to sync up right off that card that's in the back,
Oh wow.
because it's called an expansion or a riser. It's a riser card, and then I bought a Terrible Fire uh, board that gives it more. What was it? VRAM, gives it more video RAM or something. And of course, I didn't just go with like you know 8 extra megabytes. I went the full like 128 or something like that, and like it's
Sega.
just ridiculous. It's just like I put a lot of money into it already, and I'm just kind of like putting it on the back burner. Maybe I'll revisit again this winter because I don't know. There's supposedly some kind of software emulator you can put in it on the actual expansion cards compact flash card that you put your ROMs on. You put a bunch of these programs on it, and it'll do like a loader. It'll basically be a loader for all the games. And yeah, it's been frustrating because I bought the Amiga OS on the compact flash, put that in, and I even bought some homebrew games that looked really good, a couple shmups uh, for the CD32, and they're done in PAL. They're done in PAL, so I can't play them unless I get it to trick. And uh, the Amiga OS thing, it gives you the option with the mouse to try to install it on the system. And I've tried doing it, and then it just hangs up. It hangs up on that little timer clock that says it'll load it onto the SD or the compact flash card, and it'll start spinning, and then it just stops, and it just hangs up. And I've left it for like an hour, and nothing happened. And I was like, well, obviously it's incompatible, so
That
it's just
really
it's
does
just
suck.
frustrating. I even tried burning some games, and half of them would work. I burnt like 6 games, and only half of them worked. And I'm just like, hell with this system. What a pain in the
Sega.
ass.
I don't know the
But
SCART. The SCART. I mean, this SCART. That's odd. What retro tank do you have? The 4?
Yeah, I got the 4. I
4.
actually had the 4. I was using my 5X on my TV because my 4X was being used on a project, and um, maybe I should try it on the 4. But I don't think that's really going to change much. I mean, it's just going to try to scale it to 4K.
Yeah, that's it. I thought maybe the SCART would have helped you, but
Well, I do have that adapter. I bought some adapter for it so it does SCART on the 5X. There was some adapter for the what the heck was it? It turned no, it has a SCART on it. The
okay.
5X has SCART on the side.
It does. Yeah, it does. The 5X
Yeah.
has it with the little slide door. I think the 5X is nice. I got the 4X. I run like the Neo Geo and the Sega Saturn and Dreamcast and PS2 all SCART, and then I got a SCART changer, an input changer that I just press whatever and it inputs all of that, and then I got the SCART cable coming out of that and into the retro tank.
I don't have a tank. Mine's pretty
You
much
do
just
everything the older way.
the raw information straight from it.
The retro tank. I mean, you. If I was you, I would invest in a retro tank. I think it's cool. It's not a. It's really not bad. It's really the only way like I could get the Neo Geo to work properly with the video. The Saturn looks better with the SCART cables. than it does with whatever cables the Saturn came with. So SCART's not. I think SCART was the way to go with like older systems and stuff like that. Um, the cables for the GameCube, yeah, good luck. Those things, good luck. Who's gonna pay $200 for cables?
Nope.
I mean, who's gonna? I'm like, it's you know, it's that's a lot. I mean, for the GameCube, that's a lot, and you could get like aftermarket ones, but I mean, that's a lot of money to pay just. I mean, alone just for cables on that. But SCART cables are good, you know. And then the retro tank goes right out. The new retro tank is nice though, because if you have like a PlayStation 3 and you want the PlayStation 3 really upscale to look even crisp, it has a HDMI input to an HDMI output. That's super nice. For that, you could take whatever system you want and just do the HDMI, and it'll upscale that HDMI to like, let's say 1080p or I think like 4K or something. So I didn't get that. I got the 4. What is it? The 4. The 5X, I think this thing says. Yeah, I got the 5X.
Did a quick look for the GameCube component cables. Those are
Yeah,
selling
good
for
luck.
$200. And I don't know. Quick look. Looks like there's one that sells just about every other day.
GameCube's the hottest thing right now. One of the hottest things.
The thing is, even before it was really popular, those component cables were still really expensive.
Well, I think honestly, you're definitely going to be outplayed in this conversation because Welsh and we love PlayStation. I mean, I listen. There's PlayStation is amazing. The systems are easy to use. They're easy to mod. I I remember when I got a Pro Action Replay on my PS1 with the spring, and I would plug that into the back. It would turn on. I would lift open the PlayStation 1, put the spring in, and play all the Japanese games I wanted. And it you know, PlayStation's great. I think PlayStation is one of the amazing systems that's out there.
Yeah, and I just, for lack of a better way of putting it, don't care.
When
Shoot.
he wow.
It's
Wow.
that's just like, how else can I say it? Like, I didn't have a PlayStation growing up. I played it a little bit at a friend's house. And we played Battle Arena, Toshinden, and a couple other things. It was mostly that. I remember playing Mech Warrior, or was it Mech Warrior 2 on the PlayStation. I think I might have played, or seen my buddy play Castlevania. Dang it, Symphony? No, Sorrow. Which is the one on the PS2?
Chronicles.
Chronicles. No,
Oh, PS2. You're talking about
no,
Laminated
sorry, the
Innocence?
original PlayStation. Symphony,
Symphony of the Night.
Symphony of the
and,
Night, yeah.
Chronicles.
and it looked cool, but
How could you forget that?
I just, because as previously stated, I don't care. I played it on the Xbox Arcade for the 360, but the thing is, like, I made a choice when Sega dropped out. I was like, all right, I'm either gonna go with Sony or I'm either gonna go with Microsoft, and so I went with Microsoft because my buddy later on gave me his original Xbox, and I got that modded and played on that. And then I got a 360, and the thing is, I was like, I'm going with 2. I'm not gonna do all 3, and I've just stuck with those 2. And so I don't care to add Sony into the mix for anything. And it makes shopping a lot easier. Going to game conventions, it's super easy. Oh, look, here's a table of nothing that I've played but PlayStation stuff. Moving on. I don't even have to look at it. If I came across like the most expensive game for the PlayStation or the PlayStation 2 or 3, I wouldn't know it. And say someone was selling it for $5, I wouldn't care, because it's not on my radar, because I don't want it to be on my radar, because I'm happy with what I've got, and it keeps me centered on what I can buy. and I don't have to worry about spending a bunch of money starting to collect a new collection for systems I don't have.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, but when you have a crappy system like the 360 that everyone buys, and then after they play for 3 hours and get a red ring of death, Microsoft can go suck it at that point. Because the
I never got a
PlayStation
red
3,
ring of death. And didn't the PlayStation 2 have a yellow light problem as well?
no, no, that the only reason
Or was
why
it
it
no,
was
it
a
was the
yellow light,
PS3.
the only reason why it was a yellow light problem was because, maybe the light was busted, but I never heard of anything with
No,
PS2.
there was issues with the PS3 as well. But the thing is, I wasn't an early adopter. Oftentimes if you're an early adopter, especially now, you are a guinea pig. You are paying
Yeah,
to
it
be
was
a
the
beta
fats
tester.
that did that.
The
My
fats.
fat did that, but it was already PS4 was already in the works. Like,
Yeah,
when it finally
and
did it.
so I never had red ring of death problem. But thought the 360 was great. But I also think seventh generation of consoles was the pinnacle. Like that was the height of gaming, and we've been going down ever since.
Yeah, I was just reading an article tonight about that, how people are saying that PS3 and Xbox 360 era is about the best uh,
Um,
consumer friendly, wise systems. I don't know. PS4 wasn't too bad, honestly, though. PS5, I don't know. I've been fairly disappointed. I mean, there's just
yes.
not enough games for it, and a lot of it is indie, which, in my opinion, indie is just sometimes not really. You get bored with it. There's just not enough refined mechanics to them sometimes that you just end up getting bored with what is put out there. But
Well, I think the issue now is there's a lot put out there. AAA, indie, double A, single A, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot put out in all of those categories, and it's tough to find the stuff that's really good. There's indie stuff that's really good. There's AAA stuff that is really good on occasion, but I think
the
it's really
AAA
hard to
has a
find it.
pattern. They just keep repeating their games
Yeah,
one after another. Fifth sequel later, seventh sequel
yep.
later. It's just kind of like, come up with something new. I mean, I guess if people want to keep falling for that tactic, I can honestly say the only real series games that I actually have are the Resident Evil ones, and I keep buying them over and over every time they release a new one. But in my opinion, that series is a classic that is just, Capcom really knows that formula and pulls it together every time. The only one I feel like that is my least favorite out of the Resident Evils is that probably seven, just because, like, I don't know, it's really dark and gritty, and I feel like that one was my least favorite.
Yeah. I don't know what series. Because like when Mario Wonder was announced for the Switch, I was like, it's pretty much the same thing that we've gotten before. They slap a couple skins so you have new outfits, and that's it. Like you could go back to Super Mario Brothers, what was it, Luigi Wii U or whatever, and get out in the same gameplay. Or not, sorry, not the same gameplay, but quite similar, and enough so that like if you had spent the money to buy that over Wonder, you'd have been fine. Like you would have had a good time. Super Mario 3D World, you'd have a good time. It's like, why pay full price for this new game when you go back and play something just as good and sometimes even better? And that's for a lot of franchises. As the franchises have gone downhill, like you said, they're just churning them out, and there's not much innovation in them, and so you're just like, what's the big deal? I still don't have Mario Odyssey, which I've heard great things about, but I can go back and play Mario 64 or Mario Sunshine and have a ton of fun with it.
No,
So
that's true.
it's been so long since I played Mario Sunshine that it would be pretty close to playing it again for the first time.
I love the Virtual Boy.
Have
I
fun with it.
think that was great. I think early Nintendo was always great. Early Nintendo was Game Boy was great. Virtual
You
Boy
can
I thought
thank
was
Sega
good.
for it because Sega kept pushing Nintendo. They had the rivalry going, and so they kept trying to one up each other, and it worked pretty well with them for a while.
You know, I'm really tired every single time I get into the conversation with someone about, hey, Sega Genesis is an adult system. And people are like, it's like it was more targeted like, hey, it's a more of back then it was more of a like a teenage,
It
you
was the
know, like
edgier
cutting.
system.
Yeah, it was like an edgier system. It was more like adult, and then like Splatterhouse and stuff like that. And then you get people coming in that are like, well, Splatterhouse sucked, and Splatterhouse 3 like sucked, and Sega, blah, blah. I'm like the only like, hey, I feel like playing Chippendale Rescue Rangers, or I'm gonna go beat the hell out of some demons with the 2x4, thinking, and smash them against the wall and watch them splat, and kick the crap out of a demon that looks like a sack. Is the first boss of Splatterhouse. What do I want to play? I mean, the opening music for Alicia Dragoon is one of the best tracks that was ever put out on Saturn. Echo the Dolphin, amazing soundtrack, good gameplay, drives you crazy, and you smash your controller on the floor because the game's just insane. I don't it It's like, it's mind blowing when people are, the only thing the Super Nintendo had going for it is the damn RPGs, and then that's it. I'm sorry to say, but the RPGs was a solid system for RPGs.
You got to remember, what was it? The Super Nintendo came out 2 years after the Genesis did. The
Yeah.
Genesis was not made to compete with the Super Nintendo. The Genesis
No, it
was
wasn't.
Sega's fourth attempt to take on the NES or the Famicom. It was its fourth attempt, and it did really well at that. But not only did it do that, it still gave Nintendo a run for its money with the Super Nintendo because of clever marketing and them just making good use of the system and developers making good use of the system. But
I think the Nintendo was good. I thought the NES, personally, I have a handful of games for the NES. That's about as far as I'll go. That's it. I was about as far as I'll go. The Super Nintendo, I have the RPGs, fine, whatever. Genesis, I I love anything really Genesis. I don't care. Genesis is amazing. Um I'm not big with Sega CD or 32X, but Saturn is Saturn's, I love Saturn. I love everything Saturn. Any games for Saturn. People like, oh, Bernie Ranger sucks because it looks like garbage with all the polygonal that they used for it and everything. And you know what, you may be right about it, but Sega was really trying to push with the Saturn, and the shmups on Saturn are out of control. They're like some of the best shooters that are out there. Like, to this day, people still comment about the shooters.
yeah,
Radiant Silvergun is phenomenal.
I think the problem is when we get into our fanboy mode and because someone else is saying something negative about something that we like, we instantly go on the offensive instead of going like, okay, this person doesn't have the same appreciation for this that I do. But the same could be said for something, the opposite for something that they think really highly of and I don't. It's just, it's that we lost that ability to be like, let's take a step back and be like, okay, well, I can, you feel this way about it, and that's fine. I don't agree with you, but I think it's great or whatever. But we just can't do that anymore. It's you have to sit there and just, keep pushing, and trying to get your point across instead of just being like, okay, well, we're never going to agree that this game is good and that game's not, but that's fine. We can still discuss other stuff. and enjoy collecting and gaming and stuff.
I think the Super Nintendo was good for what it was. Um, though, like I said, the RPGs were fine. The Genesis was just like the Genesis was. I mean, the Genesis was just way better. I thought the Genesis was great. You know, people are gonna be like,
Yeah,
"No, yeah,
I like Metroid.
Metroid's good."
Super
I
Metroid is
always thought it was
good.
cool to see the neighbor guy playing the Star Wars games
Oh, those
on
Star Wars,
Super
the
NES.
Super Star Wars games.
Yeah,
Oh, they were. I will admit they were really cool to see when we were kids. As an
Not cool
adult,
to play.
I think they're absolutely jank. Like
Yeah, they're bad.
just
They're
like you
bad.
have a. The thing is, you have a lightsaber and you're hitting stuff and it's pushing you back and dealing damage to you and all this other stuff and you're like, what is going on here? This is so. I mean, they've got to gamify it, but it's just like, oh man, was that a prototype or?
no, it's my secret weapon when I go to load my Polymega.
Oh.
That's a Super NES cart, so I need to do that still. I haven't done that yet. I haven't even dug into the. I did some 64 stuff, and then I need to do the uh, Super NES and NES still. But
Yeah.
yep, I
So
even bought a Genesis one too. I mean, I was looking at my Genesis collection. I was looking at it. It says I have about half of the U.S. set. I was surprised to see that. I was like, dang,
I have 4.
about 20 some. I think it was 23 or 22 Sega CD games left, in which
Wow.
Snatcher is going to cost a lot.
Kikyo is gonna be.
Yeah, KO is going to cost a lot, and then that Radical Rex is going to
That can't-
cost a lot.
I don't know why that thing is so. The only difference between Radical Rex on CD and on Super Nintendo and Genesis is the damn rap song at the beginning of the game for Sega CD.
And
I don't know why
Lawnmower
that.
Man,
Lawnmower Man's a fun game.
that's another expensive one, but that's
Really?
yeah, Lawnmower Man's expensive.
Damn, I never would have guessed that.
I think I got the I think I got a lot of the cheap ones left in there too. A lot of the sports like trivia and other ones that, I've been seeing the prices drop. So I'm thinking, man, I should just go in and get the rest of those junk titles, you know, while prices are going down and get those. I think out of the ones I've been looking at, Snatcher might actually be one of the cheaper ones that you can get now. I mean, I'm cheaper
Mhm.
as in like 1,500 versus 2,000. So I
Yeah,
think that
Snatcher went down.
yeah, I think Radical Rex is. You know what? Thinking about that though, I cannot believe they have not remastered those games yet, because I've noticed some of the trend on these remasters have been expensive games.
Hmm.
I'm surprised they haven't
Yeah,
done
some of them, but
Snatcher re-release somewhere, or KO.
yeah. So I did a
that's
quick
all.
look,
Yeah,
and the Genesis launched in '88 in Japan, '89 in North America, and it launched and the Super Nintendo was '90 in Japan and '91 in the States. So yeah, about 2 years difference between those two. But back to the remakes and that kind of stuff. They remade Shadows of the Empire. That's just one I was like, why in the world? Like for the N64, they just remade it, made new carts and everything. It's just like, why did they choose that one? Well, probably because of the Star Wars franchise, but
I'm speaking about it. Lunar got remastered, and they redid the audio work from working design. And I'm kind of sitting here, and I'm listening to, like, what Welsh was saying about the expensive games and stuff. I mean, Lunar's kind of, if you're gonna buy all the Lunar games, the collector's editions and everything, yeah, I mean, they're kind of expensive for PlayStation. But and I hope I didn't offend your feelings, Oaz, by saying the PlayStation. But it's
If I don't care, why would I be offended?
Busted balls, holy.
But um I'm hoping they look at like working design, because they did Lunar, and that kind of caught me as a surprise, because that and Valis, the Valis remake collection and the Lunar remake, I didn't really think anyone cared about Lunar that much that they would make a remake for it. Now I'm thinking, whoa, like if they did this, what about Albert Odyssey? Like, what about, well, Ray Earth they can't touch, but I mean, what about Albert Odyssey? What about all these other games that they might do like remakes for? I heard Tactics is supposed to be getting like a 2D HD remake as well, and Chrono Trigger is supposed to be getting, and Chrono Trigger, if they do that, Square will be printing money, because you will have people will buy, you throw in a soundtrack with that, and people will throw themselves to try to get that game with the soundtrack.
Because it's not available on Spotify.
I don't think, that's a good thing. I don't know. I know the Castlevania games. Konami actually finally had some common sense and did something for themselves, and threw threw up. You could see you from the camera right there, so it means it's not like you're really hiding. The camera's right there. Whatever. But
Come back.
She's gone back into the shadows. I'm pretty sure she's texting you and telling you to get off.
But I mean, I'm hoping, those that.
Well, the thing is, why do we get so excited about remakes? Or why do some people get so excited about remakes? I'm not sure I've bought any of them.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either, honestly. I mean, I have the originals, of all the Lunars, and I bought that remaster, and that was I was able to get it on the second shipment that VGP put out, and it was like a couple days after Amazon sold out, so I was happy to get it.
Oh,
and
VGP.
Amazon got like some more restocks, and the prices of them were higher than that initial release. And scalpers now are trying to sell them for profit still in some groups I've been in, and it's almost laughable because people are like, dude, they're going to keep releasing these. Eventually, everyone's going to get a copy. The price is going to plummet, and then you bought all these and you thought you won, but you didn't, because people aren't buying them. I mean, obviously some people are, but I don't trust it. I don't trust that scalper thing anyways, because like they say they have it, but do they? That kind of crap. I don't trust it.
Next time you do a VGP order, let me know, because my friend owns the store.
Really?
Dude, in Canada? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. So one of the guys I work with, one of the guys I do with Toronto, I've been playing with his brother for years on Destiny or whatever it was, and it came up. It just happened to be in conversation, and I'm like, yeah, I play with this guy. He's like, oh my god, that's my brother, and I'm like, really? And then we got to talking, and he's like, I didn't know you collected video games. I'm like, you never told me. He's like, yeah, I'm one of the co-partners of VGP. And I played with this guy for years. You're talking Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. And it was funny.
I buy from them quite a bit, actually, dude.
I mean,
I look at them as like, they end up getting the limited run releases too, like very shortly after limited run. And sometimes I seen they just did one recently before limited run. Before limited run got it, and I was like, dude, these guys are awesome, man. Like I missed out on the first runs of Lost Judgment for by Sega, that Yakuza like spin-off series. So I was able to get reprints through both the Lost Judgment and the other Lost Judgment game. So I got both of those from them. I got Days Gone with the
Ooh,
actual latest firmware patch on the disc. So
damn.
that means that
Okay.
game is mastered on the PS4 version, so you don't need to download a patch for it. Um, and what else did I get that was really cool? Uh, a lot of stuff, dude. I've been buying from them now for probably 2 years now, probably, and like they're one of my favorites to go shop at.
Very good. They always have deals going on. They're a very, very good site. Though them and Play Asia are two of the best. Play I mean they got in there was this this one tactical game that I got, Goblin Slayer, and I got it from them, and he was like, yeah, he's like, oh, this is coming from Play Asia, it's not going to be English, and then they finally got that in, and I was excited about that. But yeah, their prices are reasonable. It's in Canadian money, so the American money, you're getting more bang for your buck with that, and the shipping is great. It's a great store that he's got going on there.
Yeah.
So they're really good. Oh, was you
Mhm.
should look into stuff like that. They got a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah. And their shipping's pretty quick from Canada too, actually. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm surprised that some of that stuff shows up in a week. I mean, sometimes it takes 2 weeks, but I've had stuff show up in a week and I'm like, yeah, that was fast. They do Switch stuff too, yeah. So I mean, they
they
cover
do some good
everything. It's
stuff.
pretty impressive. Oh, the other one that I bought, Soul Reaver. Or no, I wanted to
A
buy,
legacy of Kane.
yeah, I wanted to buy just a standard copy of Soul Reaver. And limited run, they did a very small run of just the game itself. So it forced you into buying a collector's edition, in which I didn't want to deal with that. But there was I was thinking, man, this might be all they're going to print of these. So I bought into it, you know. So I bought that damn one that came with like some kind of coffin, and it's like, dude, I don't even care about that crap, you know. I if there's one thing I've been thinking about getting rid of is some of my statue stuff. Like I just like, dude, I got boxes of that stuff that,
Takes up too much space.
yeah, but then again, it's cool to have in some sort of another. But limited run stuff for that just doesn't look like the really good high quality statues, you know, that they used to do on PS3 and stuff. And anyways, I lost my train of thought there. But anyways, I felt trapped into buying that version, so I did. And then VGP released a standard copy probably about 3 weeks later, and I had even messaged them. I messaged them in a DM. I was like, dude, you guys got to release this. I said, figure out a way to get the license to print whatever they printed or whatever, and just do it. And like, I wish I would have waited, because they said that they didn't think they were going to be able to do it. So I was like,
Sega.
well, I'm going to have to. And sure enough, they did. And I wish I would have just waited it out, because I'd have just bought it from them.
My VGPs, they're very good. Um, a lot of their stuff's good. And then what they'll do is they'll be like, "Hey, we have reprints of this or reprints of that," and those really expensive like PlayStation 3 games, and you pick those up, and they're not bad. Like they're really not bad at all. But their PlayStation 3 stuff's pretty good. He'll get PlayStation 2 games in once in a while, but they are always having a sale on like Persona games or Atlas stuff. I mean, I picked up Shin Megami Tensei, the one that just came out, um, with the bag and everything that they had, and it was really cheap. It was like $80. I got that, and I'm like, oh wow, like this is pretty cool. It's a good site. It's a very good site.
Dude, look at this kit. I bought a retro it's basically a toolkit, and I had to order it from a guy that I met through a sale on eBay in Japan, and it was from ASCII, AXI or something. Used to see that name on video
ASCII?
games, like old PC games. But anyways,
Nice.
like they run a site and they showed this kit, like it has all these special heads. Like since I take, I'll take my consoles apart and do stuff with them, clean them out, fix what I can. And like I'm always finding myself going down to like Harbor Freight to look for like a certain bit, and I that can't find it, so I got to order it. And I'm like, dude, I just need a really good kit. And I started looking around and I found this kit, and I couldn't order it. I couldn't. They wouldn't sell it to me in the U.S., so I had to order it through that contact I made on eBay, and he ordered it and then shipped it to me after I PayPal'd him some money. And I really want to open this up, but I almost thought about doing a little video on it, just because it has all
That'd
these.
be
There's like
cool.
some tools in here.
That brings up a interesting thing, Welch, that I've been wondering about in general, is how much stuff do you still have sitting around and never opened because you thought about doing a video about it?
Yeah, I got a couple.
Because I've got, like, I waited, like I picked up Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker and I didn't open it for like 2 or 3 years. It was long enough. It was the Wii U version. It was long enough, like I said, 2 or 3 years, that they came out with the Switch version, and then I waited like another 6 months or 9 months to finally opened it and played it because I wanted to stream it, and I just couldn't find the time to do it. And there was so much stuff. I think I have at least a dozen or 2 dozen things sitting around that are waiting for videos to be made. Like I pulled out most of my 360 game collection just to go through and do like, here's 10 fun games on the 360. Here's 10 more fun games on the 360. And they're actually sitting over here in a box,
Yeah.
just waiting me to do that. And it's been probably over a year now, or close to a year, that they've been sitting in the box over here. And I seem to remember that the days when I don't know what to do for something, but it's just the amount of times that it's like you should do a video for it. If you think you should do a video for it, set up your webcam or your phone and just do it. That way it's done and you can enjoy it.
I got another one, like 2 of my biggest videos. One was a short. Was how I bought those headsets? I don't know if you've seen those where I did them on earbuds for like the PS5. Um, I did one for the PS5 earbuds, which suck. The Pulse 3D earbuds, those things suck.
Those
But
are
I
horrible.
the other one was for the it comes with a dongle. I can't think of the model number, but I got a black set and a white set, and I use one on my PS3 and one on my PC. But those are really good sound quality. But I found another one. These ones connect just straight to any Bluetooth, and I've been using them for my TV. And they're a newer Sony release, and they're noise canceling. And I've been thinking about doing a video on these because I've tested them out long enough in many scenarios. Like I watched some movies through streaming. I've watched a couple DVDs. I've used it with like hooking up retro consoles and then streaming that audio off the TV's Bluetooth to the headset, and like they're awesome, man. Like I'm just like, dude, and the quality of the noise canceling when I put it on, like you can just hear everything go boom, and it just shuts off. You don't hear nothing. And I live off a
wow.
noisy intersection off a major arterial road in town here, and it gets pretty loud at times. And like I put those in, and like I just push that, tap it, and like it just that freaking noise canceling is just great. I love it.
That'd be interesting to see because I need new noise canceling headsets.
But here's what sucks about them though, dude, is like the ones that gosh, I wish, where the hell are they? Where my black set is. right offhand, but the the controls for it, like they're really easy to use. It's like a little flat pad on the sides. And at first it was kind of hard to figure it out, but now that I know how to use them, like they are really intuitive and easy to use with a flat touch dial. And these ones, they have a little groove on the bud that you have to tap, but it needs to be that flat dial, because just doing these tap things does not work very good. Like is in like I can tap it to do the noise canceling easily, but to get it to volume up and down, you have to go like multiple taps before it actually activates. So it's almost feels stupid, you know. It's like I can't just go dink dink dink, you know, like those other ones, you know, and then like to get it to shut down volume wise, you just go you hold it down and then you'll hear it dink and then it starts showing the volume go down. So it's easy to use in that aspect, but these you just got to tap the shit out of it and it looks ridiculous. I mean, you'll be like but good quality otherwise. Long battery life.
If you see Welch walking around, and he's sitting there tapping his ears. He's trying to mess with the volume.
Go back and forth with the volume.
He's trying to jackhammer his wax. Bam, bam, bam.
He's rocking out.
Yep.
Drumming on his ears.
Even now, good headsets are hard to find. If those are good, then yeah, that's worth it.
And I mean, it's just the price point is good. You know, a lot of those things where they tout all those kind of features, you're going to spend like $300.
Worth it though. I mean, if you're gonna spend good money on headsets, then yeah.
Dude,
I
I'm going to change it up real quick here. So I did this job for these people. They were, how old were those damn things? 1950? So 2000. So they would have been 100, like 70-year-old vinyls. I transferred them over, digitized them for them, had to clean them up and stuff. But so I got out my record player and that does it. And, you know, I run it through software and stuff too after I rip it. But anyways, you know, I'm a fan of Count Chocula, right? The Monsters cereal. I don't know if you guys know that.
That is pretty good cereal.
I collect the boxes, and like I actually won the cause a couple years ago, a little raffle, and I got these little monster statues. They're pretty weak, but I mean, anyways, I'm a fan of it. I got a couple T-shirts. I haven't gotten crazy into getting Funkos, but did you know at one point they released records on a printed wax on the cereal boxes that you could cut out?
Really?
So yeah, so I got them. I decided I was going to do it. They've been on one of my back lists to do. You know, they're about 25 bucks a piece. So I did it, and I'm hoping the wax is still intact enough that I can rip them. So like there's like monsters themed audio to them. Like one's like, you know, Count Chocula goes to Hollywood. There's like Frankenberry and Boo go to space, and then one other one. So like I'm gonna rip these and digitize them. So I'm kind of excited for them to get here.
These were on cereal boxes?
Yeah, like it had like a wax imprint or something in them.
How old?
Probably 80s. Probably 80s.
That's so cool.
Yeah, there was.
Oh wow.
Fruit Loops did it too. There's like Sugar Bear one.
That's awesome.
Some of the other cereals that were like you could buy at the generic brands there. I was looking at it. There's couple Halloween themed ones. Uh, King Vitamin did one. So yeah, I mean it's interesting. I'm like, man, that's a rabbit hole and a half right there too. I mean, not
That's
too expensive, but you're messing with cardboard that had wax on it. So you got to hope that that wax didn't get hot at one point and it, melted
And it
into the
loses its.
cardboard.
Yeah.
that's crazy though. I never would have guessed that. Wow. That's
Yeah, if
that's
you do a quick
interesting.
search for records on the back of cereal boxes, there's something for
That's super
sugar
cool.
crisp, super sugar
Yep.
crisp,
Yep,
honeycomb,
Sugar Bear, yep.
cinnamon
I wanna
raisin
get that one.
bran. There's a honeycomb with Archie. Raisin Bran apparently did one. Alphabets.
Fruit
These ones weren't
Loops.
wax though. Let me see wax records.
Yeah, Fruit Loops did like 4 of them or something. I kind of want to get those.
That is
That's really cool
interesting.
though. Like I wonder if people even know about that.
Now it's just like games. If they were to do that, they'd just give you a code in the box.
Probably.
All you get now.
That
I'm
wow.
wondering, I wonder if they copyrighted that stuff. Oh, I seen there's some McDonald's ones too, dude. I think they're like little 8-inch. Yeah, McDonald's has some too. I looked at
Yes.
those.
I remember the McDonald's vinyls. Damn.
They included some
wow.
with the little Alf puppets for McDonald's.
Damn, I remember those. Shit.
Satan's like, I remember that. Damn.
I do. That's crazy. I remember that stuff.
Oh no, sorry, it was Burger King, not McDonald's. Burger King did the Alf puppets. That also came with a little album or record.
Really? That's cool.
That is
Oh.
cool. Oh man, what we have left behind for the crap we have now. That stinks.
Yeah, I think we have. Fred and I have picked up 3, maybe all 4 of the puppets, but like every time we've seen the records, people wanted too much for them. It's like we've already got the puppets. We don't need the puppets and the records again, unless it was a really good deal. But
Oz, I miss seeing you play like Alf. That was like one of your highlights on your channel. Like every few weeks, you'd be busting out some Alf, dude.
it was a big thing.
Have the old freaking guy with his hands like,
Oh, the freaking the grab FBI agents.
yeah.
Like, yeah, that's not creepy. I need to do another. I think the last one I did was when I hit like 400 subscribers or something on YouTube. I did an Alf stream with the sports pad.
I always think of like beating with the sausage too.
Oh yeah, you running around and hitting the bats.
That game's nuts.
It is a weird game, but it is pretty neat.
That's worth having a Sega Master System for.
No,
And then you can
yeah.
get Fantasy Star and Golden Axe Warrior, bunch of others.
Dude, can you imagine if they would have made that Alf in 16-bit?
Oh wow, that would have been nuts.
Yeah, that would have been.
That would've been
Hopefully they would have put
crazy.
more time into it, because it is an okay game once you get used to all the jank. But
Well,
yeah, it's still rough.
I mean, the thing about that Alf game is it does look like it could have been done a little better.
Oh yeah,
In terms of what the Sega Master System could do. They could have put a little more graphic depth on it.
I imagine that they didn't have a lot of time with that game and they were just rushing it out.
Yeah,
And
copyright freaking pressure, or
probably. And we want it to release before the next season starts.
Season 2.
Or
yeah.
let's see, when did it release?
it's probably the same story that happened with ET from Atari. they've rushed that one out too. That's
No, so it released in May of 1989, which might have been towards the end of one of the seasons. Let's see when.
Did
Didn't
that
he
have
have
FM sound?
No.
Oh damn!
didn't he have something with like cats where he wanted to eat a cat?
Yeah,
Oh, he always wanted to eat cats, but he never did. So this.
he was always trying to get the cat, dude. There was a couple episodes where he had his hands on the cat.
Oh, yeah, he
One
had-
time
there
he
was-
was
there
about
was
to
times he
eat
had a
him,
cat
had him
in
in
the-
bread or something.
But they always
Didn't he have him
stopped
in
him.
bread or something like that at one?
Yo,
Yeah, it was a good running gag. Goes, will he eat a cat this week? Tune in and find out. So yeah, this was released in '89, and the show ran from '86 to '90, so it was about in the middle of the craze. They probably they were trying to capitalize on it, so they probably pushed to get it out quickly as possible.
it was a fun show, Alf.
It's available to watch on Twitch. I think you could. It has obviously has commercials there, but everywhere. I think all streaming platforms might have access to it, but it has commercials in it, so it's free. It doesn't cost anything other than watching commercials and having to spend that time doing so.
Yeah,
If you
that's
ever
fine.
watch Shout Studios on YouTube, they'll play. I think Alf's one of them. You'll see the one that I watched recently, which I thought I'd never watched it actually. Is that Jim Henson's The Storyteller?
Very good.
Yeah, dude. I was like, dude, I want to buy that now. Like,
There was
as a
some
series.
good
Like,
ones.
I didn't watch the Greek one, but I watched the base series.
Yeah, The Soldier in Death
But
is
I
one of my
thought that
favorite
was
ones.
really freaking good, dude. I was like, where the hell was I when this was on? I missed this, you know?
Oh, I think I've got it over here on one of my VHS tapes. Let me see. Might be on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's on rotation on Shout Studios or something on YouTube. Like, I follow them, and man,
Yeah,
I've been watched the whole thing, and like, just great, you know, just great. I was just like, man,
they're good
they don't
stories.
do stuff like that anymore, dude. Like,
Nope.
everything's got to be political or made into like a fashion statement or like, you know, current trends
Yeah, there's
versus
some big
like
there's some
actual
big statement
imaginative storytelling.
being done. Yeah, they totally ignore the fact that you're there to entertain someone, not to preach to them. Whatever
Yep.
message you're trying to get across, it's like people are tuning in for entertainment. So you don't need to be so. I think the big thing is though they're so on the nose about it. It's like they're not even trying to gently get you to think about it, and you can think about it this way and think about it that way. And no, it's pretty much this is what you should think about it. It's like, but that's just the current climate that we live in, and
Well, they don't think of practical effects anymore. Everything is all CGI.
not everything, but most of it is. And the problem
Most
is
of everything.
they don't, like you said, they don't think about it, and they don't go into what it takes to actually make it look good and stuff. But you know, the thing is, if you don't like what you're watching, go and watch something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I would still love to have the opportunity to like figure out a way to do an FMV. I mean, I really think it probably could be done. It's just a matter of figuring out how to film that stuff. Like I still think about that, Oz. I remember I talked to you about this about a year ago,
Yeah.
and I still have that script, but you know,
Just
I'm thinking,
wait for another
gosh,
year or
man,
two, and then you'll be able to do it with EI pretty quickly.
ah, then you're playing, then you're ruining it. You gotta shoot it, dude. You gotta
No,
shoot
I'm
it.
saying you could do that, but you could have the AI do all the overlays and getting it to jump from point A to point B and stuff. But
Yeah,
it was a really cool idea.
I still think it'd be something cool to like try to revive in the terms of like I remember I even messaged Wales Entertainment about it or Wales Interactive, and they want you to shoot them a pitch.
Yeah. Or you
So
telling me about
basically
that?
what you're doing is you're giving them your idea though, and that's why I was like, I don't like that,
Yep.
I don't like that. Just to use their software to create it. So I got in contact with some guys on an FMV Discord, and there a guy has messaged me a few times about these softwares that you can use that they built something like that with, and I don't know, it'd just be cool because like I feel like it would be cool to play it out as an action sequence, or you could play it out as a choose your own adventure at the same time. Like you could choose two modes of play.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
So you could actually just entertain yourself. And, if let's say if you tried to break it down into like a blockbuster movie, hour and a half content.
They do some stuff with FMVs. Like there's that PlayStation thing you were playing. There's like some FMV stuff. It's really limited. I know VGP has like some FMV stuff, but it's not like FMV like the way it was with like Kamen Rider or Power Rangers or that one with the guy where he's like a robot and you have all those people going after him. And he's in like the car. I remember you playing that.
Oh, Wirehead.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
Wirehead.
Wirehead. Yeah.
Wirehead's a good one. It's just stuff like that's lost.
Corpse Killer.
Yeah.
I think Night Trap is very good after playing through the remaster, because I feel like the remaster made it possible to actually play it, is in terms of like control input. I'll have to try Sega CD version again sometime. But I want to get the 32X version. I still need to add that to the set. I need to see where I'm at on that.
There's a 32X Night Trap game?
Yeah. Yep. 32X. They pretty much did a 32X of all the digital pictures FMV games on Sega CD.
It's not bad. It's only like $100.
Says you.
Night Trap was a good game.
So it's basically midnight here. I gotta call it.
Oh jeez.
Oh man,
So
just getting going, Oaz.
we got like an hour and a half. So I think Sane and I's, weeknights, Thursday and Friday, are gonna be generally open. So if you just want to let us know your schedule, Welch, and we can just try and do this every week. If you guys are cool with that. I don't think
yeah,
I'll do.
I mean, I can do it for a little while. I mean, once fires start here in the States, I'll be out. But I think this fall, my plan is to do something. I'm not going to work as much as I am right now, but I'm going to be doing something. But I want to try to work more on like rebuilding my channel stuff and rebuilding, like, I haven't streamed on YouTube, but I think I'd like to try to stream on YouTube to see if I can get a different boost in followers. And then, I want to focus on maybe that FMV thing. Like, I've almost thought about if I made enough money and I had a whole plan set out, I would try to rent a shop. Like, there's a lot of space you can rent around here, like shops and stuff. Try to do like a bunch of green screen shooting in there, and then I don't know. I mean, dude, I've spent a lot of money on some assets too, like big films assets, and those guys are going into they're going to become a Hollywood studio. So
That's cool.
I'd like to like mess around with like building something with that too.